Hi guys, James here. I just thought I'd do a quick video about my plans for 2021 and I'm going RC racing. This is what I'm going to be using. This is my HB Racing E819 Buggy. I bought this buggy last year as a kit, back last summer 2020, and then COVID really took off in most of Europe, particularly here in the UK, and all the tracks were closed. My local track's been closed the best part of 8 months now, so built this buggy up last year, haven't been able to run it. So hoping to change that. Now that we're coming out of lockdown, it's now March 2021 and my local track is due to open up in the next 2 weeks or so. Already booked in for a practice and my first race I'm booked in for on the 1st of April. So this is the buggy I'll be using. I thought I'd just do a quick video, quick overview of the buggy, what my plans for it are, and the spec of what I've built up here. So as I said guys, this is the HB Racing E819 Buggy. It's 1/8 scale, it's an e-buggy, so it's run on brushless power and a LiPo battery. This succeeds the E817 V2, which this replaced. I also had one of those actually. I ran one of those for a few months before I got a really good deal on this kit, and a fellow club member actually bought my E817, so this was a kind of a natural successor for me. So minor differences, really just a few tweaks over the 817. This one's got a 2mm longer chassis, giving it a longer wheelbase. That's supposed to improve the handling and the jumping of the buggy. It's also got revised rear carbon graphite hubs here. So this part here has been redesigned. Also front and rear differentials, they changed the gearing in the front and rear diffs. And also have the slimline, the narrow wheel hexes front and rear, designed to reduce a little bit of weight and rotating mass, if you like. So let's take a look under the hood and see what I've got going on. So here she is guys. If you haven't seen 819 e-buggy before, standard stuff. It's got the aluminium front and rear shock towers, alloy bodies for the front and rear shocks, some nice carbon graphite parts with a centered diff. There's the battery strap, nice carbon part. I've got a couple of upgrades here. The upper steering plate, that's an Exotech item. That's just designed to reduce a bit of flex in the upper steering link there. This one's really important, the Exotech servo mount. This stops the servo moving. In the kit, it had a plastic mount, and with high torque servos it caused the mount to move and you're essentially losing efficiency in your steering there. But this is really nice alloy, super lightweight, and it just really bolts down that servo and stops it from moving. Moving on to the electrics then, we've got the Hobbywing XR8 Plus ESC. This is a 150 amp ESC. You can run up to 6S LiPo on here. For racing we run 4S LiPo, so that's what I'm sticking with. Main reason I chose this, it's got a 7.2 volt BEC, which means I can run a high voltage servo up to its maximum specs and get the maximum power and efficiency out of that. I also really like this ESC's got a coasting feature. I believe it's, at the time anyway, it's unique to this ESC. So when you're off the throttle, it enables the motor to go into coast mode. It uses power to do that. So rather than the resistance of the motor slowing you down, it actually causes the car to coast, much like a nitro with a clutch. So it causes the car to handle much like a nitro, which I quite like. It's also a sensor combo I've got in here. It's perfectly paired up with the motor that we've got, which is the Xeron, again a Hobbywing Xeron 4268. It's a G2, the censored motor. This one's 1900 kV, which again is kind of standard in 8 scale buggy racing. I've paired it up with a 16 turn pinion there. Next up we've got the servo, like I briefly touched on. This is a Savox, this is a 1268 SG servo, high voltage servo, so it can run from LiPo power, LiPo compatible. Like I said, also it means you can crank up your BEC if you've got that option on your ESC. And I'm running this servo at 7.2 volts. Which is giving me about 26 kilos of torque, which again for an 8 scale buggy is pretty much spot on. That I've then paired up with the HB Racing alloy servo horn, again it's maximum efficiency for the steering. Battery wise, just turn you around. This is the Performer Racing P1 Graphene 4S LiPo. Nice thing about this LiPo is our HV LiPo, LIHV, high voltage LiPo. It gives a bit more punch. You can charge the cells up to 4.35 volt per cell rather than a standard 4.2 volt. You do need a HV compatible charger. I personally have got the SkyRC D100 V2, runs perfectly nicely. 5mm bullets, which I do need to solder on. I've currently got an XT90, which I ran my previous standard LiPos on, so I need to just solder some bullets onto that. 7700 milliamp battery, so I'm expecting a good 20 minutes of runtime from this battery. 120C, so it should give some decent punch. Again, haven't run it yet. Looking forward to running it in the next couple of weeks. I'll hopefully get back with another video just to give you a little bit of a review on that LiPo. Finally, what else to say really? Bits you can't see. In the radio tray there, radio box, I'm running a Spectrum SR2000 micro race receiver. Super small, tiny, lightweight. I'm running a DX5R transmitter. Nice thing about this little receiver is it lets you run at the lower frame rates. So I'm running at 5.5 millisecond frame rate, which is the time it takes from the input on your controller to show an output on your buggy. So the lower the frame rate, the better, the more responsive, and just a better feel for the car, more consistent. So that's pretty much it, guys, what I've got going on here. My E819 Buggy, hoping to race it in a couple of weeks. Plans for the buggy, I thought about upgrading straight away to the 819 RS, but what I've actually done, I've got parts on the way to upgrade this to the 819 RS using genuine parts. So I'm just waiting for those to arrive, and then I'll hopefully upgrade that in the next week or so. I probably might do a video on that just to show you what kind of parts are required, the part numbers. It's not an awful lot of work. Main difference is going to be the steering geometry is different. And the servo saver, there's a different setup there, and also rear shock tower and rear shocks. So we'll have a look at that. That's the plan for the future. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll be out on the track soon and have some footage for you. Cheers.